Okay, so we're going to navigate the Pierce County Charter Review Commission website. This is probably going to be a painful video to sit through, but stick with me. It's worth it, because these are the things I'm pointing out to the commission, and they're like, oh no, it's fine, it's in compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act. Really? And that's the words of the chair, Kelsey Barnes. These small elected offices in our community is how people get their start in politics. And this is how we get really shitty government, because we keep on electing people that aren't transparent. We're going to go through the laptop version. All this information will be on your phone, but it's all going to be in a straight line up and down. The most important thing is to know where the meetings are taking place at. You need to look at the calendar. It says right here, in-district meeting, but how many people know what that means? So you have to click on the date, and then it'll tell you the time and location. This is really confusing because it states that all meetings are at the Annex building, and they're not. You can click on Rules of Engagement Workflow for proposed charter amendments and workflow, and that will show you everything you should have to know. But it's not exactly current, because it says Rules for Public Comment, 3-minute time limit unless changed by the commission. At these in-district meetings, they changed it so we can only talk for 2 minutes. So someone that's never came to a meeting, they're going to be preparing a 3-minute speech and knocked out of their socks, and they're like, what? I only get 2 minutes? So this is page 6. This is their workflow chart, which is confusing because on their agendas, they'll list first reading, second reading, final consideration, and it doesn't discuss that process and how it takes place on here. Frequently asked questions is a good place to learn what the charter is and what the commission is trying to accomplish here. Reviews the entire charter for adequacy and whether it meets current community needs. Holds public meetings and hears from residents, community organizations, and subject matter experts. Debates and votes on proposed charter amendments to be forwarded to the ballot for the decision of voters. They may also issue non-binding recommendations to the Pierce County Council. And that was the discussion on C-26 at the last meeting. That was so confusing on what was really going on there. So we're going to click on View Charter Review Amendment Proposals. This page will pop up. We're going to click on Guidance for Tracking Charter Amendment Proposals. So here they're discussing these different folders and what's in them. That's these folders right here. If you're viewing this from your phone, if you click on those folders and want to view the amendments, you have to turn your phone sideways. It says the chart is updated weekly and can be opened to see where each proposal is currently in the Charter Review Commission process. To follow a proposal from beginning to end, it may be helpful to compare versions in the folder and review the proposal tracking chart for the most current status. That right there is the problem with this process. There's a large amount of people that's not going to be able to track that or understand that. Look at C40. That's a great example. It says members of the public are encouraged to review proposals, stay informed, and participate by submitting comments or attending commission meetings. So next we're going to click on List of Proposed Amendments with Links. This is the list of all the proposed amendments. You can click on the date of the first reading and second reading if it's available and view the most recent version of it. Allegedly. Next we're going to click on Proposal Tracking. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to have to zoom in real close so you can actually see what we're looking at. So this is the name of who proposed each amendment, and then this is how each amendment will affect the Pierce County Code. And then the subject of the proposed amendment, the Code Reviser Review requested, Code Reviser Review received. This is the proposed number of the amendment. And then it goes on to show how the amendment has proceeded through the process. It's important to note that that spreadsheet was not available until about 2 weeks ago, and our first meeting was January 14th. Let's go down the list of proposed amendments that have the potential to be on our ballot. We have C1, C2, C7, C8, C9, and C10. Then we have C11, C13, C14, C15, C20, C21, C22, C23, C24, C25, and C26. C27, C28, C29, C30, C31, C32, C33, C34, C35, C36, C37, C38, C39, and C40. And if you scroll down, there's a list called Other Official Elected Submissions. So we have, oh, what the heck is going on with my phone? It's stuck. Oh, O1 and O2. Then if you scroll down, there's another chart. And this is the proposed amendments submitted by the general public. We have P1, P2, P3, P5, P7, P9, and P14 and P15. That is not accurate. At the May 11th meeting, these proposed amendments received sponsors and they're going to be moving forward for the first reading. So C24, C29, C34, C36, C37. And then when we got to P14, Brenda Molesky withdrew her support for P15. That's my understanding. She's going to be withdrawing her support for P14 also. These ones had a second reading and are moving forward for final consideration. So we got C28, C31, C39, and C40. They shot down C38 and that's not moving forward. So it shows on their list that C38 is still on the table. It shows that P15 is still on the table, and that's not accurate. That was 2 meetings ago. So these ones were on the May 11th agenda that they didn't get to. So this is May 18th's agenda. They discussed C40, C21, and C26. C40 moved on to final consideration, and then C21 and C26 moved forward into the second reading. These were also on last week's agenda, so I'm assuming they will be on next week's agenda to discuss, to determine if they're going to go on for a second reading. Like, I am beside myself on why they can't update the meeting minutes and change things on the website. A lot has changed with C40, and the public needs to know where it's at. Wait, where did Fletcher's amendment go? There was another tab here where it said, they approved Fletcher's amendment to C40 and it was listed here. Now it's gone. So we're going to click on list of proposed amendments with links. We're going to scroll down to C40. No link provided. So you'd have to click on C3, 4, 5, or 9. So when you look at C3, 4, and 5, dude, that is old information. These are the proposed amendments to go on the ballot that John Leslie put out there. Get rid of the sheriff amendments. And from what I understand of things, it's changed to get rid of all the corrupt bastards amendment. We need government accountability, and it's not happening with our charter website. If I were Troy, I would be so pissed off right now. His proposed amendment is a big deal, and it's a disservice to him and the general public for them not keeping us up in the loop on where this proposed amendment is at. So C40 was on last week's agenda under second reading. So we should be able to go to proposal's first reading version and find his amendment. Let's scroll through this together. Oh, wait. It's not there. Weird. Oh, wait, there's more. Nope, not there. Maybe it actually made its way into the second reading proposal. Let's see if it's in the hopper there. So when they're talking about things being in the hopper, this is what they mean being in the hopper. Being in the hopper for the first reading version, the second reading version, and proposal for final consideration. So let's look for C40. Is there more? Nope. Wow, how about that? Not there. Let's check out the final consideration folder. So it's not there either. So if you made it this far, thank you for watching my TED Talk. This is why it's important to show up to next Wednesday's meeting, the 27th, at the Pierce County Council Chambers, and give public comment and tell them that we need this website updated. They're excluding the public from this process, and it's unacceptable.